their own means to solve the conflict. The US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is right now in Riyadh to work out a unified strategy. This ahead of a Friends of Syria meeting this weekend. For more on this, we can now talk to Ammar, Waqqaf, a member of the Syrian Social Club, joining us live from London. Good to see you today. Do you actually think that Saudi Arabia is the right country to work out a united strategy on Syria?
Well, we need to understand that probably Secretary Clinton isn't in Saudi Arabia to talk only about Syria. Perhaps they're to talk about the entire region as well. Perhaps tell the Saudis that chances of hitting Iran before the presidential elections in America are pretty much slim. Also, they have approved, the Americans, this Kofi Annan proposal and mission, and the Saudis have immediately afterwards said, well, we need to arm the Syrian rebels. And I don't know if Hillary Clinton, Secretary Clinton, is there to negotiate with the Saudis, whether to step down from that sort of commitment, or actually to negotiate how they are going to help.
But perhaps it's a good move by the US Secretary of State to go to Riyadh, to meet with the Saudis, to talk about a unified approach to pacifying Syria. As to some in the world, it might be seen that America is the world's peacemaker when it comes to quelling certain worldwide conflicts.
Well, we need to remember as well the first conference of the so-called Friends of Syria, where the Saudis didn't like what they heard during the conference, and they actually took the decision to step out of the hall. So probably it is needed to coordinate positions before they go into the conference hall in Turkey, in Istanbul, and actually reduce the expectations of the Saudis a little bit. Now, we need to understand that with the British pledging about £500 million to the Syrian rebels, that the West isn't really backing down from making or stirring the conflict a little bit more. So I would say that probably Secretary Clinton is also talking to the Saudis about how to pledge Saudi support for those people as well, but probably covert one.
But when it would, okay, well, understandably, probably a covert one, as you say. But when it comes to Saudi Arabia being used to help get a unified peace plan for Syria, some might say that Saudi Arabia is hardly democratic. The UN accuses the kingdom of torture and an almost threefold increase in executions last year. Do you think anyone is going to take its views on Syria seriously?
Well, I think a lot of hypocrisy is going on in the world at the moment. Obviously, you mentioned that there are certain countries who publicly support a democratic move and democratic transition in Syria have no sense of democracy at all, including Saudi Arabia. But what the Saudis are interested in more is actually a more sympathetic government in Damascus to their struggle or rivalry with Iran. And they've seized on the opportunity that there is a turmoil in Syria, and they would want to have a friendly government over there. Nobody can say at all that the Saudis really want democracy at their doorstep, because, Syria and Saudi Arabia are very much close together. And if there is a real democracy in Syria, then probably it could spill over the border as well.
Well, it's interesting how you bring in the issue of Iran here, because the collapse of the Syrian regime would surely be a devastating blow to Iran, leaving it extremely isolated. Is this possibly the aim for the anti-Assad nations, do you think?
It is very much, the regional context is very much on the cards, has been on the cards really from day one. So there has been a certain turmoil in Syria, started by a certain group of peaceful, perhaps, demonstrators, but immediately the regional stakeholders really jumped into the scene and started arming and with all the propaganda to support people to go against the government in Syria, and that has caused a huge delay in solving the problem, and still it does. But everyone feels that they should benefit from the situation and, towards their own interests. And obviously, Saudi Arabia, not happy at all with the rivalry in Iran, and this has been going on for decades, really. Probably they think that, here's an opportunity, so let's grab it.
Ammar Waqqaf, a member of the Syrian Social Club, live from London. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.